All right. Hi, everybody. Some of you weren't able to make our recent green infrastructure event in our series with creating sustainable communities. So we thought we would try and capture one of our guest speakers, Jen Court from the Green Infrastructure Ontario Coalition, to give you a brief synopsis of kind of what you missed. So next time you go, hey, I got to attend that next time because this was so good. So welcome, Jen. Thank you for agreeing to talk with me.
Yeah.
Just a few questions. First off, can you just let everybody know what the Green Infrastructure Ontario Coalition is and kind of how you work?
Sure. Yeah, the Green Infrastructure Ontario Coalition, or GEO for short, is an alliance of like-minded organizations who have a common vision for a healthy green Ontario in which the benefits of green infrastructure are realized. And so we really focus on the multiple benefits from environmental and economic to social and health benefits.
Oh, perfect. So it's not just looking at it from an environmental lens, but also those capturing it financially as well, which I think would be important up here.
Definitely.
Do you find that the concept of green infrastructure is gaining in popularity? And if so, why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think that it's getting a lot more popularity and a lot more traction. I think that climate change effects and the recent flooding and increased rain events are a really clear way that people see impacts of climate change and then potential benefits of green infrastructure that can mitigate some of those impacts in communities. And I think you're hearing more about the need for urban canopy to support biodiversity, again, linking it back to climate, reducing heat island effects. So I think that a lot of the different aspects of green infrastructure are starting to become a bit more well-known.
For sure, and I think in places like Simcoe County, where there are large infrastructure deficits and not a lot of funds to kind of bridge that gap, I think what we're trying to say, and I believe what your organization is trying to do as well, is to figure out how green infrastructure can be a gap filler, if you will, in a more efficient and effective sort of way. So,
Yeah, green infrastructure is a really good complement to conventional infrastructure, and particularly if you're in a situation where you need to plan to make up for an infrastructure deficit, that's a really great time to be thinking about how some of the lower cost solutions that again provide a multitude of benefits could be integrated with conventional infrastructure. So we have a lot of conversations about green plus gray and how those two are a really good fit together.
Right.
And really cost-effective solutions. They can be really small to large scale. So it's a good time to be thinking about it, definitely.
Yeah, no, for sure. It just adds into, like you're saying, the climate change and infrastructure deficits, everything else. But I think that at least the conversations that we're having sometimes with some of our municipal leaders and our other community organizations, there seems to be a little bit of misunderstanding about actually what is green infrastructure. And you've got like natural green infrastructure and then almost planned or built green infrastructure, and so maybe they're like a top three, if you will, of misconceptions about green infrastructure that you could share that to just help people narrow in on what you're kind of talking about.
Yeah, there's a lot of different language out there and it can be a bit confusing. So I'll start with our definition of green infrastructure, which is natural vegetated systems and the technologies that support them. So you've got a real scale from living natural things, trees, grass, plants, all the way through, and wetlands are in there, all the way through enhanced, which is stormwater ponds, rain gardens, bioswales, through to more engineered solutions like rain barrels, permeable pavement, cisterns that all work together as a system. And so it really, what we say as a high level is that our definition of green infrastructure includes chlorophyll.
Right.
It's green.
Right.
Some misconceptions are that green infrastructure is any sustainable infrastructure alternative. So, renewables, EV charging, wastewater treatment. Those are all really important projects, but aren't under the umbrella of what we would define as green infrastructure.
Interesting. And I think there might be a little bit of that greenwashing, if you will, where everybody uses green to say environmentally friendly, but here you're literally talking about green green things. Any other misconceptions that you think that or misunderstandings or things that you've had people want more clarity about?
Well, I think that there's an idea that it's hard to do, or that it's hard to integrate into existing systems, and it's not. It's very, again, multi-scale, provides a lot of benefits, and can really be done as a retrofit or when you're doing new development. I think there's a challenge with sometimes integrating green infrastructure into more traditional kind of planning and engineering mindsets, because that's not necessarily what people were taught in school. Right. And so, like any change, there's a bit of a learning curve to just get comfortable with the types of solutions that are possible. Mm-hmm. But we really always bring it back to the multiple benefits. And so, conventional infrastructure typically has one purpose. So, you think infrastructure, you think roads, driving, you think sewers, mm-hmm. move water from one place to another. When you think about a green infrastructure solution like parks, you've got all of the environmental benefits, you have recreational benefits, you have community building and social benefits, and then mental health and air quality, broader public health benefits. And so it's just thinking about infrastructure in a different way.
Yeah, for sure. And I like that idea about it having multiple impacts, because that's similar to how we try to talk about sustainability. Sustainability has for a very long time been understood to be environmentally sustainable, but the way that we try to bring in sustainability is it's about economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, social sustainability, health mm-hmm. sustainability. There is, when you hit that sweet spot of all of those different things, that truly is sustainability. If you put one benefit over the other, meaning like you just really want it to be financially sustainable, don't care about the rest, then that's where you kind of lose the brilliance of where that sweet spot is and where all those things intermix, right?
Definitely.
So if municipalities wanted to reach out to your organization, what kind of things could they come to you for, or what kind of resources do you have? Projects that are coming up, all of that sort of thing?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of great resources already available on our website, which is greeninfrastructureontario.org. Okay. All of our publications are there. We recently published a State of Large Parks in the Golden Horseshoe that really talks a lot about the benefits of parks and the need for increased funding for large parks, and other tools and resources from our partner network as well. So lots of great tools there. And we have a couple of exciting projects going on right now as well. Okay. We are currently doing an economic impact assessment of the green infrastructure sector in Ontario. So it's going to be a really good, lay of the land, who really is in the green infrastructure sector, because some people wouldn't necessarily identify as being in the green infrastructure sector, but in fact they are, mm-hmm. landscapers and people even municipally doing, maintenance on some of those
interesting. Even for me, I'm like, I never really thought of that. Yeah, for sure.
And so it's really, the idea is to show the full scope of the green infrastructure sector in Ontario, as well as doing some future projections. So I think that's going to be a really great source of data that's available in the new year. Great. So stay tuned. And then we have another really exciting project that's just about to launch, that's really targeted to municipal audiences around advancing municipal action on green infrastructure. Okay. So we've been asking ourselves this question, how can GEO support municipalities, and how can we work with municipalities to increase implementation on the ground? Mm-hmm. And that's really what this project is about. So phase one is looking to engage municipal stakeholders or people who are sort of anywhere in that space to get a sense of, who are the leaders, who wishes they could be doing more, what are the current opportunities and challenges, and then doing even more data collection around tools and resources so that we can really be the best sort of hub and support system possible to help municipalities mm-hmm. Really excel in green infrastructure implementation. Yeah. So just about to launch, and we're really looking for people who are willing to participate, so municipal stakeholders who will be willing to do interviews or participate in workshops with us.
Right.
So yeah, if anybody's interested, right. We'd love to hear from them.
So staff or counselors or whatever mm-hmm. can get involved with that. That's great. Mm-hmm. And then, as you've pointed out, municipalities are on that that front line for green infrastructure, and they don't really have a lot of resources at hand as many would like to think. So I think it's great that an organization like yours is trying to really support them in doing the right thing, if you will, or the good thing. It's difficult, especially in this climate, well, not to be a pun, but I guess it kind of is, but in this climate where things are changing rapidly, and like you were saying, with the planning system is now trying to bring in more environmental awareness and sustainability, and so there really is a need for an organization. Anything else? So I'll put Jen's information into this video, her email address. Adam will put it right here.
Perfect.
Along with the website, and that's how they can get a hold of you if they're interested or if they want to reach out. Any more information, for sure.
Definitely.
Anything else you want to add?
Follow us on Twitter, join our mailing list. Our newsletter is actually a really great source of information, and something else we try to do there is share information that we hear about potential funding sources. So we don't do on-the-ground implementation. We want to support people who are doing it, and so when we hear about opportunities, we try and share those, and our newsletter is the best place to find those, so I recommend that everybody signs up.
Go to your website, I'm
Go to
assuming.
our website, click on join, forms all there.